I'm about to show you guys a secret defensive coverage that's gonna win you more games now. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Duke, back here from Sportsgamerz.com, and in today's Madden 23 tip video, I'm about to break down a super effective, yet secret defensive coverage that is absolutely locked down. It does a very good job of defending the meta you see online, and it's gonna win you more games. So, we're going to be looking at the nickel over formation. This formation is one of my favorites this year on defense. It can be found in the Kansas City Chiefs defensive playbook and some others as well, but I'm using the Chiefs defensive playbook for this video. Now guys, this year, man coverage is super effective. Everybody's playing that, but there also are some very effective zone coverages in this game as well. One of the ones that is so overlooked but is super effective is found in this nickel over. It's one of my favorites to use. It's the cover 3 buzz seam. Now, guys, this year, just basic cover 3 is not that good in my opinion. It's very easy to manipulate. However, this is not your basic cover 3. This is much more effective, and in this video, I'm going to break down why and how we can make it even better. And we're just going to show a few different examples of what it can do for your defensive scheme. So first of all, when you're running this defense, nickel over is one of my favorite formations to use because you can put your safeties in the game. You can put them in the game at linebacker to user. You can do a lot. It's definitely gonna be one of the easier defenses to use from a personnel standpoint because it defends the run really good. You can have safeties at linebacker if you don't have good linebackers. But they're better in coverage anyways, and also the 4-down pass rush from this formation is just absolutely hellacious. So, when running this, you're going to want to put your zone coverage adjustment on match because there actually are some matching elements in this play that you want to take advantage of. So again, let's just come out and cover 3 buzz seam. And first, we're going to look at gun bunch because gun bunch this year is still probably one of the most common, if not most common offensive formations people use. So let's just move the ball back, give her some space to work with. And as I do that, I want to remind you guys that I do free Madden 23 videos on my channel on a daily basis from tips, gameplays, and news. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're really rocking with me, smash that like button, comment on the video, turn your notifications on. Literally any comment at all helps me out. The likes help out a lot. If we could get to 300 likes on this video, I will post a nice blitz you can run out of this defense as well. So let's just get right into it. I don't want to take too much time. We're gonna, first of all, just discuss how this coverage works and then show some examples of the unique things that you can do out of it. So, first of all, I want you to notice something. With this defense, you have 2 high safeties, right? Most cover 3s show a single high look, so they kind of basically give away right away that you're in cover 3. With this single high look, especially at a nickel over, with this double, with the 2 high safeties, right? The double safety look, the double high, 2 high, whatever you want to call it, out of nickel over. This allows you to disguise what you're doing. So me personally, the first thing I always do is I pinch my defense by hitting either R1 or RB, depending upon your system, and then down on the left analog stick. It's going to bring your DBs up, in a press position, and you're going to be able to, you can kind of move these safeties up as well into the box even more if you want. And what this does is, at this point, the offense doesn't really know what you're in. You could be in cover 2, you could be in cover 4 match, you could be in man coverage for all they know. They don't really know because you have the 2 high safety look, whereas if you're in just a basic cover 3 sky or whatever, it's going to be a situation where, you have the single high safety, and then that just gives it away, right? We don't want that. So anyways, having the 2 high safeties is very, very nice. Another great thing about this play, and I'm going to just reset it because it kind of got messed up by all those little adjustments, is that safety that's on the weak side, and we do have auto flip off, by the way. He's going to always go opposite the nickelback. The nickelback is always going to be on the strong side of the offensive formation because we have auto flip on. So if a bunch situation where you have 3 receivers on one side, he will always be on that side of the field. Now, this player right here is very important, Hyde. He's in a hook curl. This hook curl actually has matching principles built into the play. Why is this important? Well, if we were just to pick a basic cover 3, like cover 3 sky, again, yes, we have the single high safety in the middle of the field, but also notice your safety's in a curl flat, and the curl flats this here kind of just suck. If I was just to pick verticals, for instance, you're going to see that this crossing route is just going to be wide open. And, you know, it was a little bit more contested there than we would like, but still, you'll see, I mean, nobody really guards that. It just is able to get behind the hook zones. The curl flats, they don't do anything. And, you know, unless you use that, you can just throw it into this area right here very easily, right? So that's one really bad thing about just basic cover 3. Another bad thing about basic cover 3 is that, you know, other than the seams being wide open, is, like I said, curl flats, they don't do anything. You can throw corner routes very easily on curl flats, but also they kind of just drift back to where that they don't even do a good job throwing the flat, or I'm sorry, defending the flat. So, I mean, you can get 5 to 10 yards really easily just throwing into the flat. So let me show you guys some of the differences in this cover 3 buzz that I like to run versus the cover 3, basic cover 3 sky. And remember, I turn match on when I run this defense. So you guys are going to notice that that hook curl, he will actually go match that crossing route. For my free YouTube content, I highly recommend checking out Sportsgamerz.com. This is where I post all my premium content for Madden 23. I have offensive and defensive eBooks, schemes, plus I do 4 to 6 premium tips every week in the Madden Vault to keep you guys ahead of the game. Our best offer yet is the Sportsgamerz Madden VIP membership. This is the best Madden membership anywhere on the net, the best content at the best price. You get access to the entire site for only $24.99. This means all of our ebooks, all of our Madden Vault tips, plus you even get access to our meta reports and our exclusive VIP members only community. I also do one-on-one coaching as well for you guys that are interested in that. See you at Sportsgamerz.com. If you're serious about winning more games, I will post a link in the description as well as in the comments. I literally made no adjustments to my defense. I just came out in the stock, and you see that he's able to very easily match. Again, that hook curl matches the crossing vertical route, and he's able to just, you know, pick it off. I didn't have to do anything. Again, no adjustments were made there. I didn't pinch my defense. I didn't press. I just came out in the play stock, all right? And he was able to do that. Now, the other thing that you note here is the curl flats on cover 3 sky are just awful. They don't do anything. However, the seam flats we have here, they're going to play more of a matching style. You guys can see here that the running back is matched, right? That's nice because let's say that they send the running back out of the backfield on a wheel route, right? You'll notice that my flats, my seams, you know, they're going to go ahead and take those types of routes away. You guys are going to see here. So watch the running back. The seam flat is going to be able to take that away. You guys can see here. Bam. Now, when you run this defense, I would always recommend using this hook curl zone by the linebacker. Because, again, this guy right here, he's glitchy. He will match routes, you know. There's some matching principles built into this hook curl. So I would use this hook curl, and really what I'd look to do, you know, if they ran a play that was attacking the seams, like, again, like verticals, you see the tight end, he can attack the seams. You know, I'd probably look to take that away, wall that off, and, you know, that'd be pretty easy thing to take away. All right, so that's kind of what you're looking to do. You're looking to kind of just take away the seam, maybe some posts, you know, seam type routes, even maybe a slant going into the area of the middle, right about here. That's you, right? Pretty easy. Now, if the running back doesn't go out on a route, right? Say the running back is just blocked. Now what will actually happen is if the running back's not out on a route, this seam flat right here, this player, he'll actually guard that left flat. So say the running back's blocked and, you know, he doesn't really have anything to do. He'll head over into that left flat, so now you guys can see, like, if there's a drag going over there, you know, he'll kind of break on that. Now, he's going to initially drop back further, as you saw in the play, but once he notices that there's somebody hitting that left flat, he'll take it. See, he's initially dropping back further, right? But as he recognizes that there's a player coming into the left flat, see how he kind of turns and breaks on it? You guys can see the hook curl. He's actually paying attention to it, too, by the safety. He's actually paying attention also, and then I'm just playing that seam. Very, very good coverage right here. Now, I will tell you guys, if you're having issues guarding the flats, you know, there are still some ways to easily hit the flat against, you know, any defense really this year, almost. But seam flats, they do a decent job. However, if they know what they're doing and just have really good ways to attack the flats, I mean, you can easily just put each of these defenders in seam flats or one or two of them. It just depends what they're doing exactly. But you can just put them in a hard flat, just like I did here. put them in hard flat. Don't know why the play art's glitched. Again, I guess that's, still in the game this year. Nice, but it is what it is. Anyways, you'll see that both of these players will take away the flat. You can easily just put them in those hard flats if you need to. Make sure the flats are guarded. Okay, so that's kind of one thing about this that's very nice. Another thing about this that is very nice is how it will actually play corner routes. So, you'll notice that unless they know, like obviously as an offensive player, there's ways you can kind of take away, it's called a pull route. A pull route's essentially going to allow corner routes to get wide open. But the way they work is a little bit different this year. But let's say that they just did a basic setup like this with a street corner flat. As you guys are going to see here, that deep zone, he'll actually play it even though he basically caught a pass that was very contested. He actually played that. He reacted to it. The thing about it is there are ways, though, that you can kind of get around this as the offense. You guys can see here, he played this very well. Still was able to complete it because, well, the dude didn't even do anything. But if I was in a real game, I could just click on there and at least break it up, if not pick it. However, the thing is this year that if you're on the wide side of the field, if you motion the corner out, he'll run that player off. If you're on the short side of the field, however, you don't even need to motion. It'll just run it off anyways. But I want you guys to see that if they do a motion streak on the wide side of the field, this corner out now, it is going to get open. So if you see somebody doing something like this, you have a few different options. Normally what I do is if I see somebody doing that, I'm on this hook curl anyways. So if I see somebody that basically is, motioning out streaks on the wide side and I see a streak corner flat, well, because I know that streak's going to pull the guy, I just go guard the corner myself and everything's locked up, right? So that's the easiest way to do it. However, if your user does need to stay in the middle of the field, there isn't one more adjustment you can do, which is you can actually put that quartered, you can just put a quarter over here by this player. And if you do that, you could still potentially give up a bomb. So if I'm going to do that, normally what I do is I quarter this, inside quarter of this safety so he doesn't give up a bomb. And then I can go ahead and put this guy in a third. Or I could leave him in the hook zone. It's kind of up to you, depending upon what kind of route combo they're using. But you guys can see here, if you don't want to have to use that corner route, if you just quarter the safety and quarter the corner on that side of the field, they'll actually take that away. You guys can see. So, not really something that I typically do because, then you have to worry about other adjustments that kind of make it a little bit more complicated. Normally, I would just recommend, honestly, just if you see someone doing something like this, they're trying to hit that corner out, just go run over there yourself, and everything else is going to be guarded. That just as you guys can see. Now, the nice thing about this defense is it does an amazing job just with the four-man pass rush. So if you're really trying to maximize this scheme with abilities, what I would recommend doing is I would go ahead and have two edge threats as the DNs. Guys, edge threats this year are super overpowered. They'll get these instant type win animations, and they're just not going to time to get rid of anything at that point anyways. Now, because the corners are pretty much in deep zones, regardless, right out of the scheme, if you're going to play a lot of zone coverage and you're not one of those players that likes to play man and you want to use a lot of this type of coverage I'm showing you, what I would do is I would have like a deep out zone KO ability, a deep out zone again. Not route, but zone, because that's going to activate on these deep zones. The medium route KOs, the deep route KOs, those are for man. But if you use the zone knockout ability specifically on your outside corners, the deep out zone knockout abilities, those will be able to activate on these deep zones. And now any borderline pass that they try to fit in there, that's going to get, broken up. Those are some nice abilities. I feel like those are actually very effective this year, period, if you're going to play zone. If you're going to mix in man and zone, then it's a little bit more complicated, which I personally do mix in man and zone. So you kind of just got to, kind of know your scheme to maximize your abilities. But, you can easily take away those corner routes. Now, just to show you guys another example, say somebody is in a tight formation. Again, tight formations are pretty meta as well this year. So again, you just kind of got to recognize what somebody is doing. So in a situation like this, if I know that they're trying to abuse me with these types of reads, like it's not that hard to take away. Like for instance, someone might try to run bench and just streak this corner, and do a streak on the short side of the field to run this outside corner off, right? So if I see that, because on the short side of the field, you don't actually have to use motion. You can just do a streak with no motion. That corner route would get open. I can just go user that myself, and everything is played very well. On the remember, it's short versus wide side react differently this year. Short side, you can just do a streak, and we're on the short side because we're on the left hash. You can do a streak, and no motion is required. But on the wide side, if you want to run the corner off, you do have to use motion. So if I see someone in a tight formation, which is very common this year, a lot of people want to run this bench. If I see a streak corner on the short side, I just go user that myself. Remember, you still have both flats guarded, the 3 deep zones in the other hook zone. Nothing is open. And with this 4-man pass rush, again, you're seeing the power of a defensive line. A player like Von Miller, he just got an instant win. And even though I covered this, they didn't even have time for it to develop anyways, to be quite honest with you. He was getting sacked right off rip. You can definitely use some sort of matching principles too out of this scheme if you're running against tight formations. You could use quarter zones as well, kind of like I showed you guys against bunch. Again, don't really have to do that because to me it's just easier to user that guy. Another thing I sometimes do is if I know that they're tended like to run these corner routes, a lot of times I'll put like an athletic D lineman at D tackle and just put them on a bluff blitz. What that will do is I'll just put them on a vert hook over the middle of the field. So at that point, like a 3-rec hook zone over the middle of the field. So at that point, I have a lot more freedom to just go do whatever I need to do. As you guys can see there, he pretty much had nowhere to go. But this 3-rec, if you put him on a bluff blitz, this D lineman, he's going to end up dropping into a 3-rec over the middle. Not a vert hook, a 3-rec. Which, again, you kind of need an athlete there. You don't want one of these big fat guys like I have here. He's not going to really cover much, at that point. He's a big fat guy. But if you actually have an athletic D lineman there, he'll do a nice job here. The only thing he had to guard was just delay running back route, which he did a pretty nice job of. And as you guys can see again, pretty much everything was boxed up. Now, once again, guys, this is why you have to be smart because, again, this defense with the matching on, it does have matching principles. As you guys can see here, they got a little bit confused. Luckily, I was able to take that corner on the left. They got a little bit confused over there. See the safety? He got a little confused. He reacted a bit late. I would say one of the biggest things with match coverage this year is actually play recognition. Sometimes I've noticed that players with low play recognition, they get a lot more confused in who they should match. And, if you have players trying to match in low play recognition, a lot of times they won't match the right guy, or they'll kind of like react to it too late and there'll be people wide open. So if you're going to play these types of defenses, definitely use players with high play rec. I've noticed the ones with low play rec, they do a really inconsistent job at match compared to players with high play rec. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. This is a very good coverage. Like I said, that's very underrated, very underused. Not a lot of people even know about it. And most people don't even realize how different it is than your standard cover 3 and how much better it really is and how effective it can be.